What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to GmiasWorld Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Week 10 Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime, one of the rare games that were actually good, and I thoroughly enjoyed this one, but we're going to just go ahead and just get right to the point. Ja'Marr Chase absolutely 100% cooked the defense of the Ravens. Okay, I don't want to hear anything else about how tough the Ravens defense is. I know Kyle Hamilton, he had like a sprained ankle or whatever it is. Bro, that's one player. There was other injuries and things like that, but if the Ravens are really going to be taken seriously, they have to play better defense, bro. Like, you can't just have a guy out there straight cooking you. Now, look, this is one of those rare instances where Lamar Jackson was actually able to come back and actually win a game that he was down. And, you know, obviously the 2-point conversion was stopped at the end of the game. It was pretty much breathtaking the entire game. Like, I really haven't enjoyed a Thursday night football game in a very long time. This one was one for the ages. But let's go ahead and break it down, right? I know I've been giving Joe Burrow a lot of flack, okay? But this man had 428 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. He had a QBR of 63.7 and a passer rating of 108.3. I can't find fault with him in this game. Okay, other players have to do stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Defense, you got to play, you got to make plays. I know it's tough to deal with Lamar Jackson. Obviously, you got Derrick Henry back there. It's a lot of weird stuff going on. They had some recent trades and stuff like that, but you have to play better defense. You have to give the man a chance to try to win, bro. Because now when you take a look at it, the Bengals being 4-6, they're definitely on the outside looking in now. This was a must-win game, and this is why the NFL is so weird. When you think about the fact that the Browns beat the Ravens, it's really, like, it's just like, what? And then you look at this where you have one player, Ja'Marr Chase, 11 receptions, 264 yards, bro. 70-yard long. Bro, he had 17 targets, bro. 3 touchdowns. Like, if you had him in fantasy, let me know in the comments right now. Like, because dude, it's already over. Like, you don't even need to look at the games for the Sunday, Monday, whatever. It's pretty much a wrap. If you had any parlays, you probably hit. All right? But this is the thing, right? With the way the Bengals are right now, I'm not sure, what the future holds. Obviously, this season's over. I don't see a situation where the Bengals are just going to, come back and start, all of a sudden just start winning and, end up in the playoffs. I don't really see that. So they can fight, but at 4-6, it's like, how much fight do you have left? You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, they're holding you back. Your face is in the toilet and they're giving it to you jailhouse style. I don't know exactly what the outcome is going to be. What I can tell you is this. This is the Joe Burrow that you guys were talking about and praising. The one that we saw last year, most of the year, the beginning of this year, it wasn't this Joe Burrow. Now, keep in mind, he was 34-56. He threw the ball 56 times, bro. Like, dude, where's the run game? Chase Brown, 13 carries for 42 yards? Okay. You know what I'm saying, bro? All right, if that's what you guys are going to do. So the Bengals have a lot of work to do just overall with the actual system. So I'm not looking to kind of like downplay how they played. They even, they went for 2. They could have won this game. They dominated the game overall. If you look at the, the whole aspect of it, but the Ravens were able to come back and win the game. So we can't outright just say, you know what, this team sucks. Like my usual thing. I can't say that because that wouldn't be fair. And I have to be objective with the game. I go based on a week-to-week basis because the NFL changes on a week-to-week basis. So if you come out and show me something, I'm going to give you your props. I don't care what team it is. You know what I'm saying? Even if the Dallas Cowboys came out and showed some life and some pride, I got to give them credit for for winning, but they don't win anymore. So we're not going to talk about the Cowboys. But in this situation right here, the Bengals, man, you should have won this game. Very, very, like, dude, that's it. You guys should have won the game. I don't know, what else we could really say about it, but it's a very, very gut-wrenching loss. These are the type of losses where it's like, yo, are you serious? Like, you got to win this one type thing, but it just didn't happen. Now we hop over to the Ravens, right? Lamar Jackson. Now look at the differences, right? Lamar Jackson threw the ball 33 times. He had 4 touchdowns, okay? He was not sacked once, a QBR of 83.8, and a passer rating of 141. So he's getting more and more efficient in the passing game. For those of you guys that are saying he's a running back and all this other BS, you're starting to see a lot of efficiency, and he's like always around 300 yards when he really plays well. So those type of numbers are insane with the type of efficiency he's having, okay? In addition to that, he only rushed for 33 yards, and Derrick Henry only had 68 yards, but he had a touchdown, a very, very key touchdown. Tylan Wallace had a touchdown, 115 yards. Mark Andrews had a touchdown. Rashad Bateman, who just got over there, had a touchdown. Nelson Aguilar, who's a bum, had a touchdown. So you start to look at the fact that they're spreading the ball around. Zay Flowers, you expect him to do certain things, but, he had 4 receptions for 34 yards. He wasn't really that dude last night, but again, he's a speedster. He's going to show up when it's needed in games, depending on the scheme. But the bigger thing about this, winning a game 35-34, like that clutch, is very important for the Ravens. We all know what happened last year in the playoffs. And I don't like to dwell on what happened in the past, but until Lamar Jackson can show something in the playoffs, it's really going to be something that's over his head. It's going to be a cloud, bro. Because this man is a 2-time MVP of the National Football League. But it just, you get that whole feeling where, like, bro, can you actually get this done? Like, can you do this? Like, is there a way for you to be able to overcome the situation of Patrick Mahomes? Because that's what the problem is. Patrick Mahomes is Tom Brady right now in his prime. That's what Patrick Mahomes is. And he could actually be better than Tom Brady if he continues along this path. But the issue is, he's that elephant in the room that you got to take out. Like, he's the problem. So when I see things like this, it gives me like a glimmer of hope where I can say, you know what? Lamar Jackson might be ready, but for whatever reason, whenever Patrick Mahomes is on the field with him, he just can't perform. So we have to wait to see how that works. But again, when you look at the way that they were spreading the ball, moving things around, it was a lot of motion. They do things that week to week, it's going to be very, very difficult to consistently stop the Ravens. And the only reason, this is another thing, right? The only reason that teams really have success against the Ravens is because they're usually able to rush for and, typically spy it and keep him in the pocket. Like, that's the thing. You got to keep Lamar Jackson in the pocket. When he starts getting shifty and doing weird stuff, you're going to lose the game. And that's why some games are a lot easier than others, because if you just watch the way that they do it. But the other thing is this, right? The read option and Derrick Henry, dude, it's devilish. I don't even think it should have been allowed. Like, dude, bro, Derrick Henry is too big to move that fast. So something's going on with his body, and I don't know what it is, but we might need to test him. All right? So Roger Goodell, I know you like to test dudes that walk around looking gigantic. I'm not saying to test them, but with that type of speed and the way that his body is built, it's ridiculous. So that's the two-headed monster that we have to look forward to for the rest of the season and going into the playoffs. So I do fully expect in the AFC, it's going to be a similar matchup where we're going to be taking a thorough look at the Chiefs and the Ravens again. They're going to have to match up. What's going to happen? And I know the Bengal fans like, yo, G, the Bengals not out of it. You know what I'm saying, bro? They're 4-6. Okay, look, I can't really take the time to argue with you guys, because what's happening is, if you think for whatever reason they're going to go 11-6 or whatever's going to happen, I got a bridge I'm selling in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no way possible that this Bengals team goes 11-6. We're not going to always get this from Jamar Chase. We're not going to always see that Joe Burrow. So the consistency is where the problem is. The way that they played, if they play like that, nobody's going to play like that every single game. Like, you're never going to play consistently that good the way they played. But if they are able to pull out a couple games like that, it's kind of maybe, whatever, it's a possibility. I just don't see it. They have zero running game, and you're relying on a quarterback in Joe Burrow that's fresh off injury still. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it's been a year and a half, whatever it is, he's still fresh off of it. You're asking him to throw the ball 56 times. That's not going to be something that's sustainable. In my opinion, I don't think it's going to be sustainable. So I'm not brushing them off at 4-6, but I am brushing them off at 4-6. The Ravens are at 7-3. Now, they should be 8-2, but it doesn't really matter. I don't really see anybody else that's going to be in their way that's going to prevent them from going to the playoffs. Obviously, it's going to be all about what happens in the playoffs. So in that regard, we're going to have to wait that part out to see exactly what happens. But I do like the matchup. If we start looking at the playoff picture with the Chiefs and the Ravens. If the Chiefs keep playing the way that they're playing now, they're going to be a number 1 seed. So we'll have to see what the Ravens do, but they have to go to, Kansas City and deal with all that nonsense. But regardless of the situation right now, I would say the Ravens and the Chiefs are the top in the AFC. NFC, I got to go Lions. And I think I like the Eagles now. But I like Washington, obviously. But I don't, it's kind of like new with Jaden Daniels. Washington, let's just say Lions, Washington, and the Eagles. You give me your top teams for the AFC and the NFC. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you did, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can listen to this on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. You can search GmiasWorld Podcast, download it for free. You guys have a blessed day. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love, y'all.